Oda done goofed. Let's just be realistic here. This is Griever, chapter 1030, also known as the worst chapter of the next piece of One Piece. This chapter's crap, man. This chapter is terrible. It's the worst chapter I think I've ever read in One Piece. Now, I haven't reread One Piece in a long time, but I'm telling you, I can't think of a chapter that disappointed me this goddamn much. Like, sure, there's chapters that I don't care for, or I didn't like, or whatever, but this chapter is fundamentally just unbiasedly bad. From a storytelling, from a narrative perspective, it's just taking away all the tension. It's not necessarily retconning anything, but it's taking away all the breath, all the held breath. It's like, okay, there's no consequences. Wano now has shown me there are no consequences. And even if characters die at the end of Wano, why did they survive at this junction? This would have been the time. At this point, I'm sure Ashura Doji's alive. At this point, I'm sure Pedro's going to come back to life. Like, how many times do they want to kill Orochi off? How many times does Kinemon have to die? Kiku should be dead. Kanjuro, how is Kanjuro alive? How? How is Kiko and Kanjuro alive? And I don't buy the BS with the Kinemon thing. I don't buy it. I did think that Kinemon would survive long enough to die, like long enough to have a speech, talk to Momonosuke, look up to him, see the face of adult Momonosuke, see Odin in Momonosuke and go, I can now die, my samurai, like, my job is finally completed. That's what I was betting on. I know a lot of people don't like Kinemon, and I'm okay with Kinemon surviving against Kaido, but only long enough to realize that he can let go. Sort of like an Iron Man Endgame thing. It's like, you can finally rest. You've done your job. You've gone above and beyond your duty. Wano will be okay. Momonosuke will be okay. The spirit of Odin lives on. The Kazuki clan won. You can rest now. Then Kinemon dies. That's what I expected. I didn't expect Kinemon to actually die here. But for the love of God, how is Kiku still alive? How is Kanjuro alive? At this point, once again, Ashura Doji must be alive. Everybody's alive. Like, they keep, like, we have CP0, and they're constantly showing, oh, now it's 25,000 to 8,000, now it's this many. Are any of these people actually dead? At this point, are any of them dead? Like, where's the actual, where's the tension now? I know Oda loves to kill off people in flashbacks and not kill them off in present day. Because, suffice it to say, as far as I'm aware, we have 3 confirmed deaths in the present storyline in the entirety of this series. As far as I'm aware. Like, named characters who are officially confirmed dead. As far as we know. That would be Whitebeard, Ace, and that was the big thing. Marineford, we're killing off main characters here. That's what was made the Summit War. That was what made Marineford, right? Whitebeard died. Changed the world. Blackbeard showed up. Changed the world. Ace died. Changed Luffy. Like, that was the big thing. But besides those two, then we have Pedro. But at this point, I'm almost like, maybe Pedro's alive. Will P and all that stuff. Now, once again, a lot of people complain about the Pell thing. But remember that the editors actually said that was around the time of 9/11 and blah, blah, blah. It was a bird in the air. It was a bomb. It was sort of like, okay, airplane, bomb, you know, like, you know what I mean? So I understood why they said, listen, we need to sort of retcon this just for that very reason. I have full confidence that Oda meant to kill off Pell. But then the 9/11 thing happened, and that did affect the story. I believe the editors or Shonen Jump basically came to Oda and said, listen, can you just fix this up a little bit? We don't need that sort of publicity right now. That's bad publicity, you know what I mean? They say there's no such thing, but there is. So yeah, so that much I understood. And people, we've had that meme for fucking like almost 15 years or whatever. So that's fine, dandy. But yeah, this chapter has got to be the worst chapter I've ever read of One Piece. Oda can goof up. Oda can fuck up. And here he fucked up because now this is a war without casualties. You can argue, yeah, there's been like 10,000 deaths of samurai fodder. Like, but that, in a manga series, that doesn't matter. It doesn't. Sure, they can say, oh, look at the casualties here. But yeah, nobody cares about the Marines that died in Marineford, do they? I'm sure everyone thinks only 2 people died in Marineford. No. There's pirates that died, I'm sure, of Whitebeard's, like, out of those 43 crews or whatever he had. I'm sure some pirates died. I'm sure Marines died. That was Kobe's speech. The people that are injured that we might be able to save at this point. And what about the ones that died? At this point, like they died for nothing sort of idea. So more than Whitebeard and Ace died at Marineford. But we don't count those kills because they're not even named people. They're background characters. They're fodder characters, right? I'm not saying that their deaths aren't significant. What I'm saying is for us as a reader, we need, like, to build tension, we need this to happen. We need half of the scabbards to croak. We need, potentially, at this point, I was still of the belief that Kaido was actually going to die at the end of Wano. He would legitimately be slain. I fully believe that. But at this point, if Oda is not even willing, he's not even willing, and people made fun of me for thinking that Odin actually came back. Remember that Conjuro, did the whole painting for Odin and stuff like that? And I'm like, at this chapter just proves that my theory is not that far off. The man does not want to kill characters no matter what, no matter how badly written that makes it. He does not want to kill off characters in the present storyline, and I don't know why. This is a point where the G in GOda, he's losing that G for me. He's losing that G because he's just Oda again. Because I'm a One Piece stan. I love One Piece, but I can recognize, and this is coming off of me not really liking the direction of Sanji's character being a whiny little bitch. Let's be realistic here. You can agree with that or not, but he's been a whiny little bitch. And for 2 chapters, and all we wanted for like 3 weeks, for a month, you jumped away from the fight we give a shit about. We don't care about Jack. We don't really care. People like Queen and they like Sanji, whatever. Zoro versus King. That's an important fight. Kaido versus Luffy. That's an important fight. You jump away from this for 2 chapters for Sanji to be the whiny little bitch that he's been for 2 arcs now. Like, he's done nothing to contribute. Sanji has done fuck all to contribute for almost 2 arcs now. What did he do? He baked a cake. He got everyone in a bad position, baked a cake, put more people in a bad position because of his morals, and now is crying that he's got a power-up. So Sanji, and we focused on that. When we have King versus Zoro. Why did you jump away from that? And then you jump away from it just to show, once again, Orochi's alive. You can even explain that one away, but Orochi really could have been cut down at that point. I don't care. I don't care about the Yamato no Orochi. Orochi's a bitch. I don't care about Lord Orochi. I don't care about him. So it's like, just let him die. Just let him go. Let him fall into the sea. Let him fall off the mountain. Let Yamato kill him. I don't care. Just get rid of him. He's been slain 3 times now. Get rid of him. And then you have, once again, all the scabbards all basically being alive, though they should have been dead multiple times, and Conjuro surviving. Oda, what are you thinking? Now because we were trying to wrap Wano up. Jack was defeated. The Topiropo are down. We've got X-Drake and the numbers sort of idea with Apu and stuff there, right? And it's okay, so that one's that one's still slightly going on, but that's just going to wrap up, I assume, really close. But we're at the final stages here. It's time for King, Kaido, and Big Mom. It's time for the final fights. We're coming to a close here, and now you've added Conjuro coming back just to add another enemy that somebody else has to fight that's either going to be off-screen, which is a big complaint about Wano. I understand the off-screens myself, but Oda just created more problems. He just created more problems for himself. And he created more problems for me because I don't give a fuck about this Conjuro demon thingy. I don't care about Conjuro, don't care about Orochi. Now I really am disliking the direction. Wano should be focused right now. We're at the tail end of part 3. We should be focusing on the hype, the tension, Kaido versus Luffy, King versus Zoro. That's what we need to focus on. And even this chapter could not be saved now. Some people complain about the awakening thing. I think it's fine. Luffy focuses on hockey. Luffy is going the direction of Shanks, Rayleigh, Roger. He's following that footsteps. I'm good with that. He's got his gears and he's got his stuff, and maybe we'll get Gear 5. But I don't think we'll get it this arc. I think the big thing here was blooming his hockey. It was blossoming. His hockey is now, he's able to use Conqueror's hockey to fight like the top tier can. Because no matter how good, I noticed one thing in all the silhouettes, the hockey was the main thing that these people have. They might have devil fruits, they might not, but the hockey is what matters. The Conqueror's hockey matters. So having Kid and Law figure out their awakenings, but still being new to them, still not being able to utilize them very well, I'm totally fine with that, and actually that was a 1+1 for me for the chapter. It's like, okay, Kid and Law have also blossomed, but they're more, once again, crocodile style. Crocodile focused so much on his devil fruit, mastering his devil fruit. That's what he did. And Law and Kid are sort of going in that direction rather than try to master the hockey side of things. Not that they can't still be good at hockey. Kid, we know, has conquerors, but it means that they're just taking their power, their powertrain in a different direction. But we're just delaying the fight with Queen versus Sanji for 2 chapters. We finally get rid of Lawkins because he's a loser. And now you've added a Pooh back with the numbers. You add another element with Conjuro. And we're jumping away from the fights we give a shit about. Stop it, Oda. Stop it. Let's see. Give us 3 chapters of King versus Zoro. Wrapped up that fight. Then let's go to the Big Mom stuff. Then, of course, the final part. Let's go to Luffy versus Kaido as the final big battle. We don't need other fights in this arc. And for anybody who still believes that One Piece is going to be over in now like 4 years, you're insane. You're actually insane, because there's 52 weeks in a year. Oda takes at least 1 break per month, so that's minus 12 chapters. So that means there's a maximum, and this is the maximum, 40 chapters per year. There's 40 chapters per year at most, and there's less than that, but I'm just going highball here. Highball at most, 40 chapters per year. So in 4 years, you think that this series is going to be wrapped up in about what, 160 chapters? Really? You think that all of One Piece is going to be wrapped up in 160 chapters when we have chapters like this that are delaying the end of an arc? This is bad pacing. We're slowly. Now, if you want to argue that it goes Wano and then final arc, sure. But this means that the final arc is at most only about 100 chapters. No Elbath, no any other arcs in between. They find the One Piece, they have the war. That's all that's really remaining, unless Elbath's going to be 25 chapters. And this is assuming Wano, because, as I said before, maximum amount, 160 chapters. Maximum amount that Oda can push out in 4 years. That's the maximum amount. So, if that's the case, then you're telling me that Wano ends tomorrow, you only have 160 chapters left in One Piece. It's not going to end in 4 years. You'd be crazy to think that. Wano's not ending this year. Wano is going to take up probably another 30 chapters at least by this pacing. So realistically speaking, you have maybe, and that's me lowballing, you have still 130 chapters left after Wano. That's assuming Wano ends in 30 chapters, which realistically, at this pace level, I think we got another 30-40 chapters of Wano. You could say that includes the 5 chapters of post-Wano that are likely going to occur. But I don't know. What do you guys think? This chapter was terrible. Worst chapter of One Piece, I think, period. It's the worst one I think I've ever read. I can't think of a chapter that was worse than this. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. But Oda, you get a big thumbs down. This is a 0 out of 10 chapter. It's a 0. There is nothing good. Okay, you know what I'll give it? I'll give it a 1 out of 10. I'll give it a 1 out of 10 because I didn't mind the awakening stuff. I'm glad we didn't stay on that shit. I'm glad that we actually moved on to a fight we give a shit about. There are 3 fights going on that actually matter in this war, and we focused on at least one of them. So, yeah. But not killing off characters. Oda, what the fuck you doing? You're fighting a war. You're making Wano out to be. You've been hyping up Wano for so long, and now we don't even have a death. We have 0 deaths. 0. Nada. The longest arc of One Piece has not a single death. What? Fighting 2 Yonkos, and there's no casualties. No casualties fighting 2 Yonkos. All right. Like, comment, subscribe, dislike if you like to, but I haven't seen anybody so far. I haven't seen anybody sort of praising this chapter or defending it, so I doubt I'm going to get many dislikes, but let me know if you disagree with any of my points. Like, comment, subscribe, drink responsibly as always, as I always do. As you can tell, this one's a little tall today, and we'll see you back here next time, ladies and gentlemen. Till then, Peace out. I pray that this is the worst that One Piece gets, and it can only go up from here. I really do, because I am so disappointed. See ya.